The cost of childcare in the UK does not make sense to me at all, because they say it takes a village to raise a child. Since I arrived here, I'm just looking for the village that is raising this child for me. If it really takes a village to raise a child, why is it so expensive for people to keep their children, their baby? Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to today's video. My name is Genevieve and I'm a YouTuber based in the UK. If you're seeing me for the first time, thank you very much for clicking on this video and consider subscribing to my channel. Relax. Okay guys, let's jump straight into the video. I've lived in the UK for a year now and there are so many things that do not make sense to me about childcare in the UK. If you're moving abroad with your kids, one sure thing that you have to make arrangements for is how to handle childcare and survive with your kids in this country. I have loads of videos. I'm going to leave the link in the description on childcare and how you can navigate childcare in the UK. However, my experience in this past 1 year has taught me that if you do not plan yourself very well, you're going to be paying so much for childcare. So it is very important for you to plan ahead for childcare so that you can maximize every single money you make in this country. That being said, I'm going to be sharing with you things that do not make sense to me about childcare in the UK. These things I'm going to be sharing are completely my own point of view. And these things do not make sense to me about childcare in the UK at all. If you find this video interesting, please watch it to the end, give it a thumbs up and share it so that YouTube can suggest it to many more people. The first thing that do not make sense to me about raising kids in the UK is the fact that their kids are over pampered. I've watched and seen how the locals raise their kids. You will see a whole lot of pampering and a whole lot of pacifying. In fact, I was speaking to a colleague of mine at work and she told me that she can never tell her child that he didn't do well. Like your child maybe drew a picture and the picture is not good and or he didn't do a good job and she can't tell the child that you didn't do a good job. She has to pacify the child and say maybe you should cool off and do it again. While I understand the whole idea of, gentle parenting, I understand using positive perspective to parent kids, I understand that. But I think there should be a line, there should be a limit to that. There should be a time where you tell your child, see, this one, try. But if you try harder, if you work harder, maybe it will get better. I remember when my child was at bold to tell me, Mommy, you've not been eating carbs as much as we do, but then you're not losing weight. That's a child who is raised to be bold. It doesn't make sense to me that you over pamper your kids to the point that you can't even be able to tell them how real things are out there. They are so, I don't know how to explain it, but they over pamper kids in this side of the country. Of course, you know that there are words you can't use on kids. You can't even spank your kids. The way we parent in Africa, the way we parent back home, you can't use that system of parenting here at all. You can't. So where is the balance when it comes to over pampering kids? I admire the pampering part. It draws you close to your child. You have this bond and this relationship with your kids, but then there has to be a limit to it. I can't raise a child that I won't be able to tell the truth. I mean, if you didn't get it right, you actually didn't get it right. I can only tell you to get it right and then you work hard and get better. I can't lie to you. Another thing that doesn't make sense to me about raising kids in the UK is the fact that they give their children over independence. Over independence, the independence these children enjoy in this country is just too much. My 6-year-old came back from school and was telling me, naming all his rights. They've already taught them their rights. They know their rights as children. 6 years old knows his rights. I have the right to this. I have the right to food. I have the right to shelter. I have the right. He was just listing his rights. Quite impressive. I admire that. Quite impressive. But did they teach you that where your right stops is where another person's right starts? So my child, I had to sit down to tell my child that I also have my own rights. Do you know that I have the right to go anywhere I want to go to and not come back to this house? He said, yes. But then I go out every day and I come back home because I know that somebody is waiting for me. That is how to stop your rights in order not to encroach in another person's rights. So the independence they are being taught in school is just so much. I mean, the focus is on their rights, making kids to get everything they want, have their way, like is the kids' world. Of course, in this part of the world, the kids come first, then women, in that category. So they give them that impression that they come first before their parents. I had to take my time to also tell my children, yes, you have rights. You have the right to eat good food, but you know that you don't have the right to choose whatever you want to choose in this house anytime. You also eat what is available, what I have. You know that, right? So the independence is just too much. The independence they are teaching them is just too much. It's just left for you as a parent to also put in your own seed. As they are putting in, you have to pour water for it to keep balancing. You have to keep pouring for there to be a balance on the parenting style, morals, culture, freedom. There are so many things as an individual that I do not agree with based on where I'm coming from, morals, culture and freedom. In this part of the world, hello is greeting, hi is greeting. I can take that, but because of where I'm coming from and because I also want my children to maintain their roots, I also have to teach them that where we are coming from, there is a better way to greet. You don't just see an adult and say hello. There's a better way to address an adult. There's a better way to compose yourself when you're speaking to an adult or when you are in the presence of an adult. You don't just go hello, hello, and that's it. And it goes beyond just greeting. I'm just using greeting as an instance. So morals, culture, freedom of expression, especially. So the morality, the moral value in this country is dropping so badly because of it's flowing from the excess independence given. You can see the decadence. I was also speaking to a colleague and he said, I can't even raise my kids the way my parents raised me because things have changed so bad. Your child can pick up the phone and call the cops on you and you get into trouble. And your kids will be taken away from you because you scolded them or because you taught them the right thing or because you disciplined them. Parents are even afraid. You don't want to get into trouble because you're trying to raise your kids. So I don't know where the balance comes in, but it doesn't make sense to me about childcare here. It doesn't make sense to me because the government is giving the impression that they care so much about children. They care so much about protecting children. They don't joke with children. Beautiful. But if you don't joke with these children, I think a lot of investment should be made on keeping the morals, on instilling good morals, quality culture into those children. But it's as if it's liberal on that form. It's liberal. Children are free to do as they want, or they are taught that they can be so expressive and be themselves. We forget that these children will also grow up to be an adult and then become nuisance if that culture and values is not well planted into them. So you see that the society is pouring in a lot and leaving a lot of work for parents to do. So intentional parenting is not even a conversation that should be debated. Cost of childcare in this country. The cost of childcare in the UK does not make sense to me at all because they say it takes a village to raise a child. Since I arrived here, I'm just looking for the village that is raising this child for me. If it really takes a village to raise a child, why is it so expensive for people to keep their children, their babies, in childcare facilities? It costs a fortune. In fact, if you're working and you have a child in childcare, you're almost like paying half of what you're earning to childcare. So imagine if you have 2, 3 children. So it doesn't really make sense to me that you value the family unit, and yet one system that should sustain the family unit is so expensive and is luxury. So you see so many people, once they give birth, they switch on to universal credit and they are not working. Because if I'm working and everything I'm earning, I'm paying for childcare, I might as well stay back home and take care of my child and be on benefits. So it doesn't really make sense to me that childcare is as expensive as it is in the UK. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I'm looking for the village they say it takes to raise a child. So one thing that is even helping people, especially immigrants, Nigerians, and Africans, is by having a community. If you have a community of friends or you have your family around that can help you out, that's fine. If you have a community of friends that you people can, pair up and take care of your children on different days, that is one way for you to build a village that will help you. But if it's for how much it costs to put your children in a childcare facilities, it is madly expensive. Now look at this. In my son's school, every Friday they used to attend Friday club. This Friday club is for working parents. If both parents are working, then the kids should have the Friday club where they stay, I think, an hour, 30 minutes extra after school closes. I just received an email from the school saying that service has to be scrapped because it's costing the school so much to be able to do that. So what are these parents going to do? You're having a 9 to 5 job and school closes by 3. On Friday, it closes by 1:20. What are these parents going to do? You have to find an aftercare facility that will take care of your children for these hours. And you'll be so shocked to hear how much they'll be paying in 1 month. I have 3 of them. Tell me, does it really make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me at all. Next is the social care systems. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I mean, the way families are being separated and children are being separated from their families, it doesn't make sense to me at all. There are so many reasons why children are being taken away from their parents. Maybe where a threat of a decent childhood or livelihood has been seen, that this child cannot have a decent childhood if he or she is left in the hands of the parents and there are no close family members who could adopt them and take care of them. Then, okay, it makes sense for you to take the child out and put the child up for adoption and the child will be in the system. But do you know that there are some situations where a family is genuinely struggling to make ends meet and trying so hard to meet up is not working, and maybe 1 or 2 loopholes left in this place of struggle must have alerted the relevant authorities, and then they see a need to take away the children because the parents lack capacity. Some people will say, if you know you cannot be able to take care of children, don't give birth to them. Yeah, so many persons are not fortunate. And all of us were not born rich. Some people were born poor and they also grew up. So should we now leave having children to be a matter of the rich? This same social care system will withdraw this child from the family because they are struggling and put them into maybe foster homes and pay these foster homes to give these children the minimum. Many people are fostering not because they really love kids, but because of the kids that they make from it. So tell me, where does it make sense? The money you're using to fund a child who is not happy in a foster home can be used to help the family. Let's just say that if this family is given a car, they will be able to function better as parents. And the government provides them with a car. And then, of course, you pay back with a loan. And this helps them out. Would that not have saved the family unit, and also at the same time, it would have helped a family in need? But no, sometimes it doesn't make sense. They just whisk the children away and then put them in foster care and fund that one. It doesn't make sense to me. This whole foster homes, fostering kids is popular in the western part of the world, and it really doesn't make sense in some cases anyway. While truly in some cases, it has helped a lot of children who would have just been out in the streets, homeless and staggering and starving, giving them a better life, okay? That is where there needs to be a line as to Where do we say a family needs help, and where do we see that the children need to be withdrawn from the family as a matter of urgency? These are the things that the government needs to look into. These are the things that doesn't make sense to me when it comes to childcare and raising kids in the UK. My 1 cent. If there are other things that you think that doesn't make sense to you, please feel free to share with me in the comments. A lot of things, people have different experience. Please share your experience with me. What have you experienced in this country about childcare that does not make sense to you at all? Please let me know in the comment section. And if you've watched to this point without subscribing to my channel, please subscribe. First of all, thank you for watching to this point. Please subscribe to my channel, share this video, and I'll definitely see you in my next video, guys. Bye.